Yo, so YouTube, in this video, I'm gonna tell you guys the toughest lessons I've learned since starting a clothing brand. And I'm not gonna be the only one telling you guys. I got my boy Hollywood Shaq here too as well.
What's good? What's
Um,
good?
he's been doing really crazy in the space. One person I met in a clothing brand space that's really knowledgeable. You already know how me and Shaq get when we get together in a video. It's nothing but gems and stuff like that. And he just keeps on pushing through all the tough lessons that he's learned. And as we go into the summer, a very profitable summer for a lot of clothing brands, I just want to give you guys some brand advice. You always get life advice. I want to give y'all some brand advice and stuff to look out for and tough lessons and stuff like that. So I'm gonna go ahead and start and get right into it. So for me, like the toughest lesson that I learned in this business is that you're always gonna have three bottlenecks. And if you don't know what a bottleneck is like a point where, like, if you look at a bottle where it's like wide and it comes to a point where it slows down, like a chokehold in any business, and that's something that slows down the business. And those three bottlenecks that you're always going to have is you're either going to have a content problem, a design problem, or a fulfillment problem. And so what I mean by that is like, yo, like either you don't have enough content pushing out to get eyes on your business, either you don't have enough designs to make new drops and stay consistent.
Yeah.
Like you're not the designer, or you don't have a good designer, or you have a fulfillment problem. Like a fulfillment problem might be your manufacturer is slow on the bulk orders, or like you can't ship it out to your customers quick enough, and you're gonna have to figure out what to fix. And I guarantee you, anybody watching this is gonna have one of those problems.
Yeah.
And you're gonna have to figure out what to fix. And I say that is there's always going to be a problem. And what stops very successful people from people being successful is that the successful people just kept on going.
Yeah.
They kept on trying to figure out the problem. They were solution oriented. Like if you already know what the problem is, all you have to do is reverse engineer the problem to find a solution. Like for example, like, yo, I lack consistency. I'm not consistent. A lot of people have this problem. What's the opposite of consistency? Being consistent.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Lack of consistency, the opposite of that is being consistent. You be consistent by being intentional. You write down what you want to do. You set a plan. You have a calendar. And you stick to it. And sticking to it means even if the plan is not going well, you stick to it no matter what. And that's key, guys. Like a lot of people like to abandon ship way too early. You know what I'm saying? Like way too early. You gotta stick to the plan because there's a reason why you set that plan. And once the plan comes into fruition, you like, all right, that didn't work out. Now you can edit your plan for the next go round. Because it's always gonna be a problem, bro. Like it's always gonna be a problem. That's the biggest thing I see with a lot of people. Like once you already know your problem, that's the best thing. That's 50% of the battle right there.
That's what make you a boss. We solve a problem.
You know what I'm saying? The scariest part is when you don't realize you got a problem.
Yeah.
And you don't even know the problem.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's when it's really scary. But once you know what the problem is, and all you gotta do is search within yourself and see what's not working and just reverse engineering. Like, what's the opposite of this problem? All right, how can I do the opposite? All right, I have a design issue. Like, what's the opposite of the design issue? You can either learn how to design or pay a designer a lot of money. And you're like, I don't got the money. Then you gotta learn. It's gonna take time to learn.
That's good.
You feel me?
That's good.
Like that's like the main things right there. Content, like learn how to do content, or pay somebody to do content for me, or use influencers for my content. Whatever it's gonna be, there's always solutions to these problems because somebody else had that problem before you and they pushed through. You feel me,
bro? You
that's key. Like so you Shaq, like yo, like what is something like you probably even had this year or last year that's been like a really big problem in this clothing space that you just went around and be like, all right, bet, like this is like what I'm doing now. You know what I'm saying?
So you pretty much, but you was hitting it right on the head with what you were saying, especially about like just understanding for one that the biggest thing is not looking at a drop day like the end all be all. That's the thing that I feel like a lot of people overdo in the clothing brand space. Like when it comes to promoting these drops, y'all put so much into the drop being successful that you forget about the days after the release. Like the drop day is the end of your brand name. Like you got to get it all on this date, which slows down your creativity, slows down your marketing, slows down the campaign around whatever you're building because you don't understand the simple fact that you're new, you're just starting, you're trying to build a community, you're trying to build an audience because you caught up on what social media paint as the right way. So you look at your come up as the wrong way because it's not imitating the right way that you're seeing on social media, running away from the actual hustle that's building you into the person that you seeing on social media having what they have it, right? Because we all got to start somewhere, right? But if we trying to start and immediately looking at what Dre got going on, and that's what we want on our first release, because Dre doing it now, that's a crazy thing to have in your mind. That's going to only hurt you, your motivation, and your work ethic when it comes to continue to move forward, right? So one of the biggest things that I had to realize is that it's no such thing as the right time. It's always on time, right? So with that being said, it's just like, don't let what don't go right stop you, because if you let it stop you, you miss what it's really trying to teach you. Because a lot of us look at every L as a loss versus a lesson. And that gets back to what you were just talking about, like just understanding that you got to learn. You got to be expected to learn. I like to expect to fail more than I expect to win, because I know that in that failure, I'm gonna learn some shit that I probably need to take forward to the next release, the next drop, the next product, the next procedure, whatever the hell it may be. Because the more you get accustomed to appreciating the W's, the more W's you stack up. And that does not mean every W got to be a big one. Like a W could be a simple fact that you didn't know how to design, now you know how to design. That's a W to celebrate. You don't have to minimize it because you're looking on social media and see that this big brand is designing at an all-time high level. They not running your race. You running your own race. So you come into a position to where you every day you checking the box off doing some shit that you was never doing. That's a win. Like, you don't look at it as a win because your ego got you thinking that, well, this brand on social media is doing this, so I need to be doing this as well. So you don't give yourself the appreciation in the midst of the W's. So when you actually get the big W, the drop day W, you look at it like a loss because it didn't go to the anticipation that you had set. When if you was appreciating all your W's up until the point of a release, even if you got 10 orders, that's 10 orders you would never got a month ago, but you got it. So if you treat it like a W, you also be surprised at how those 10 customers treat that and take that to they people, and now your 10 turn into a 20. Your 10 turn into 15. Your 15 turn into 30 because of your different approach with the releases, because you expecting not only are you not expecting W's all the time, you appreciate the W's all the time because you work towards the L's, because the L's teach you. So the more you get taught, the more you learn, the more W's come your way because you're not running away from the grind, right? The more L's you turn away from, that lets me know how much anticipation you put out for no reason. And you got to realize the only thing that's helping you or making you feel like, oh, I got to sell out this, I got to do this, I got to make this, we got to get this going, it's your mind. You putting all this shit in your mindset for no reason, because social media got you thinking that it's a rat race when it's really just a marathon. You know what I'm saying? Like it's at the end of the day, become an entrepreneur or brand owner, business owner, whatever you want to call it. It's about bettering yourself. So you don't need the most money right now. You don't even know what to do with it. Better yourself first, so when you actually start to get the money, you know what to do with it. That takes skills, that takes losses, that take L's, that take bad drops, bad releases, bad products, bad manufacturers. It take a lot for you to understand exactly what you got in your hand. And expecting your first release, second release, third release, hell, even the fifth one to go 100% perfect when you just starting to build out, when the goal is to build a community, it's crazy, right? Because you're gonna hurt you're gonna hurt your ability to build a community by how they see you when you have a bad drop. We don't see you posting no more. Your next post to be like, folks ain't fucking with me, they sleeping on me, ain't nobody supporting the brand, the family and friends don't want to buy from me. Like your whole energy is off because things didn't go your way when no one told you it's supposed to go that way, right? Like when you're marketing, when you're building a brand, when you're building something, it's not always about the reward. No. It's not always about the reward. It's always about what you getting out of it. Who's seeing it? Who's connecting to it? Who's subscribing? Who's liking? What did they like? Did they like that colorway? Did they like the size? And did they like the quality? What's the shipping time right? You know, it's more than just how much money we made on the release. You get to that point when you check all the boxes off, because now you know what to expect. You know what to anticipate because the work you do. A lot of y'all not even doing enough work for the end all to be the drop day. You know what I'm saying? Like your mindset is at drop day for what? When you still practicing, you ain't made it to the game yet. You still your drop day is a scrimmage. It's not even the whole game yet. You feel me? So the more you shift your mindset from trying to be perfect to being a practice type of person, to being a executor, a person that's willing to learn, willing to accept knowledge, willing to not let shit stop you, slow up your motion, and all of those other things like that, you're gonna really be on your way. So that was one of the things I had to realize. You know what I'm saying? Timing is everything. That's the most thing you got. It's availability right now is your time.
That's a fact.
And that's the most valuable thing you got. So it don't have to be all done in one day. It don't have to be all done today or tomorrow. I can do it every other day. You know what I'm saying? Every day I'm getting money, that's fine with me.
That's a fact. Like the ability of time, like it's so crazy because like you could track it, but people don't see it, so they don't understand
They
like
don't
how fast or
understand
how
it.
slow it's going. Like the fact that you have more time to do it, I'm not even worried if it doesn't work right now.
Exactly.
Because if it eventually works, like that's all that really matters. So like putting time into it. So a lot of people right now that I'm noticing, they want something for nothing. You have to put a lot of time and effort into it just to even gain something out of the process. So like even like with learning your lessons, one thing Shaq taught me that I took that I wasn't doing before I met him is like actually writing down stuff that went wrong.
Yep.
Like actually having a notes like, oh, when we did this, this is what happened and this is why. And just like really just self-reflecting and journaling. And I feel like a lot more people need to do that because like how do you take a loss into a lesson? You study it, but you don't study it because like a lot of people think they're dwelling on it. No, you don't dwell. You dwell on the solution of what happened.
Yeah.
And
exactly.
so that's where I'll be focusing on with this clothing thing, just being very intentional in the space of clothing and understanding like a lot of people want the W's, but the L's come with it too. And somebody be like, yo, Dre, I'm built for the L's. I could take it, but it's still not working out. You know what I'm saying?
Them L's
like,
turn into W's.
How much time you been doing it? Oh, I've only been doing it for the last 6 months.
That's nothing.
Bro, do you know for like 3 years, like I didn't really make that much money off of it for 3 years. Like
Nothing.
I went back and forth to my parents' house. I went back and forth figuring out different ways to make money and stuff like that for 3 years. I'm in it for 7. So like damn near half of the time I've been in it, I wasn't really making any funds. And even to this year, we had a drop that didn't do well because we try to raise the price point. Our average price point is around like $68. So we try to raise the price point by selling an item that was about $300. It didn't do well at all. We did not make as much money at all. And then we had to dial. I thought we fell off. Well, I really didn't know. I know we didn't fell off, but in my head, I'm like, dang, we fell off. But I dialed it back to like $645 products. And people was eating it up.
Yeah.
You feel me? And we was back on. So I realized, I'm like, okay, I can't just move too quick, too fast. Like I can't be like, yo, here's 300. Like now, let's say we drop 6 items. One of those items will be 300. The other 5 will be 45.
Exactly.
And that's for me dwelling and learning. Like, oh, this is what my customer want. They do want more items from us, but they don't want to be taxed for it.
Yeah.
And I could be looking at it like, yo, Hellstar selling $1,000 sweatpants. Why can I do that?
Yeah.
But like that's their race, you know what I'm saying? That's their clientele, that's their environment. That doesn't discount or discredit my customers. You feel me? That doesn't discredit what I got going on. That's why I tell people they gotta drop more. They gotta understand what they got going on. Help out more audience. And understand your audience so that you have all that information and you take that information and you go build on that. Yeah. So like those are real lessons like I really try to take away from it. Like really like that's how you backtrack and reverse engineer like a loss.
Yeah.
Like you like, okay, I did this happened. What I think I did wrong, and this is what I should do. And then another thing you could do, you can plug all that into ChatGPT and ask ChatGPT what it thinks.
Exactly.
And then that it might give you it might not tell you what you want to hear, or it might give you a different perspective, and that opens your mind even more to think about what you got going on. Then you talk to the homies. Yep. You know what I'm saying? Because like people can only tell you from their experience, but ChatGPT is telling you from thousands millions and millions of experiences of data that they pull.
Yep.
You feel me?
Yep.
But my homie experience might be close to mine.
Exactly. That's why I be telling people like you gotta compare the entrepreneur side to college.
Okay.
But you're your own professor. So you have to get yourself to class. You got to wake yourself up for class. You got to set a schedule. You got to show up to the schedule. You got to study outside of the schedule. You got to review what's going right. And it's test day, which is the drop day. So the drop day is pretty much everything that you've been learning over the time period, studying for and all that shit. See what you really learn, what you really learn. Put it all into play on the test day. So that's how I move when it comes to the clothing brand. I'm my own teacher. So everything that goes wrong, I know I'm the reason why. I didn't study this. I didn't review this. I didn't focus on this. I don't play the accountability game with nobody else but myself, because I know at the end of the day, I'm the boss. Bosses solve problems. If I want to be a better boss, I got to find more problems to figure out. So I'm always studying. I'm always in the numbers. Shopify analytics give you a report down to the T of every single detail on your store. It's nothing you can't go find and figure out if you got a solution or a problem to go fix. But I'm always reviewing. Every release, I'm reviewing how the messages go. Like you put me on the A/B testing model with the segments. I'm seeing what test message is stronger, what's hitting harder. I'm breaking down the segments and weaving out the people to see who's the strongest supporters, who's not really that much of supporting, what content is the strongest, what content is the weakest, what type of product details work, what the description need to be. All that shit I'm studying, I'm learning, I'm reviewing product photos. That shit is important. How you want to do models, you want to do the flat lays, what you want to do, you know what I'm saying? Like sizing, understanding sizing, what colors your people like. All of this shit is about testing, studying, learning as you go, so you can see what you need to keep on the shelf, what you need to remove off the shelf, what you need to keep offering, what you need to stop offering, what you need to give a discount on, what you need to not get a discount on. Like it's never a point to where you just sit back and relax because you got to figure it out. It's always a new thing for you to be figuring out, which is why I say just look at it like you're the professor, but you're teaching yourself. So you got to be prepared. You got to be willing to handle this. And every test day, you got to know what you're doing because you're supposed to be studying leading up to that point.
That's a fact. And we're going to wrap it up on this. Like, study, study, study. You have to fall in love with learning, guys. Like, a lot of people don't want to study and understand. Like, one thing I could tell people, like, if you want to get somewhere, you got to do what successful people are doing. Pick 5 of your favorite top brands and study how they do content. Take how they do their content, their captions, and use it with your stuff. It's not stealing. It's stealing if you take their logos and the designs and stuff like that. But if you take how they do their content and copy like that and be like, all right, so this is how such and such post their stuff. I'm going to go somewhere like this and post like, maybe you can't get to the exact location. That's fine. But you get something similar. Like, I'm going to post like this. This is how the lighting was. This is how their caption was. This is how they were interacting in the comments. Just do more what successful people do.
Yeah.
And if you could just get 1% of that, just 1% of that and learn along the way, it'll be a lot different for your brand.
Exactly.
And that's just being solution oriented, guys. As we go into the summer, as we go into Black Friday, which I'm already preparing for, I want you guys to understand and learn what works and stack what works. You feel me?
Exactly.
Remove what don't and stack what do. You feel me?
Facts.
And just tap in. Like, if you want to tap in with my guy Shaq, I'm going to have his link down in the bio. Follow him. He has great content, great school community for y'all to tap into and all that. Like, but as we go into the summer, it's a very profitable summer. I don't care what anybody's saying that the space is overcrowded.
Hell no.
I don't care what anybody's saying that it's not working out no more. I don't care about no recessions, nothing. People are still spending money because they want to get flopped.
Yeah, and I want to add on to that copying subject real quick because a lot of people don't understand that we are selling to consumers.
Yep.
All right. So in business, you move based off of what the consumer wants. That's how the business operates. Whatever the consumers are moving towards, that's what you move towards. So you don't necessarily have to chase trends all around. Find you a niche. Find you something that you align with and see what's trending in that area. They do it in every industry, right? Look at vehicles. Panoramic roof, digital dash, the whole display. All vehicles in 2025 are now doing that long dash display in their SUVs because they know that's what the consumers want.
Yep.
The same thing with food. Everybody, they come out with certain things.
Matcha.
You hear me?
Every coffee shop got matcha because that's what consumers want.
It doesn't matter what industry you want to find, we're selling to the consumer. So don't let social media sped up to the point to where people got opinions more than anything. So now people's opinions are making it seem like what we do in business is wrong. Like, copying, using inspiration, having a 3% rule, want to make it seem like only one thing can do one shit. Like one brand or one company can sell to 8 billion fucking people. You know what I'm saying? Like that social media has sped up, of course, which is why you got to learn how to use it to your advantage. Every comment is not a bad comment. Sometimes it's an engagement boost. You know what I'm saying?
And even with that, with the comment thing, some of your best critiques are in the comment.
Exactly.
Like somebody say something negative about you, you could take that and like use that to build on your business.
Exactly.
For example, their shipping is too long. What's the reverse of that? Figure out the shipper situation.
Yep.
Now you could use that as your example. You can't just be like, they hating. Like it's not always hating. You could take it and use it.
You gotta see your consumers. Like I'm gonna give y'all a TikTok example. I don't know if you be heavily on TikTok. You probably don't, but it was a situation